Tonight was WWE's debut on the Fox network. So was it a good debut? We'll tell you as we review Friday Night Smackdown for the week of October 4th, 2019. Hey guys, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to war.
Hi, you're watching The Wrestle Gamer on WGS-TV.
What's up, guys? I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of WrestleDOWN right here on WGS-TV. And joining me on the Friday Night Smackdown review, guys and gals, you know him right here. He's on this side of the screen, the studly man, Ashley. Ashley, how you doing? Okay. Kabuki. Well, WWE and Fox put a lot of stock into Friday Night Smackdown on so many fronts. I love the new stage, the lighting and the pyro. The new intro looks solid as well. One could say almost a better intro than the Raw counterpart if you think about it. Now, before we get to the show, earlier today on WWE's YouTube channel, the ridiculousness that is the 24/7 championship, it would once again change hands. From what I saw, Carmella took a tumble backstage because apparently the Bella Twins were there. I think R-Truth was there. And she took a tumble, and some guy named DJ Marshmallow was, I think, checking up on her, but the referee looked at it as a pin. So he counted the three. And now some guy named DJ Marshmallow is the 24/7 champion. Ash, who the fuck is this guy?
Marshmallow is a pretty good EDM guy. I know it's not your style of music, so
no. And
not, it's not going to be sort of. But he's big in sort of mainstream stuff. My sad thing is there was so much potential for the women to be going after the 24/7 title,
and they did that.
What we saw with them chasing Carmella and whatever, and then just put it on Marshmallow.
Why they did this tonight, I don't know. But anyway, let's forget about that and talk about Friday Night Smackdown.
Any thoughts on All Elite Wrestling Randy Orton?
Becky Lynch would kick off the show welcoming everyone and said, what better way to start off Friday Night Smackdown than with the man? That is, until King Corbin would make his presence known, saying that the show should start with the King. And then, of course, out comes Dwayne. You guys know him. The Rock. Whatever. He did his usual Rock shtick by insulting Corbin over and over, using the same catchphrases he used in 1997. Becky and Dwayne would call Corbin a super tough dude and then got the fans to chant STD. Yeah, that's something Fox just loved having their chanted over their network, STD. Then Becky and Dwayne would go on the attack, taking out Corbin with Dwayne hitting the people's elbow and the Uranagi, with Becky getting in some shots on Corbin as well. All I can say right here up to this point, Ashley, is now, I understand this. I understand why they did what they did. But couldn't they have done this a little bit faster than what they did?
I mean, maybe. But at the same time, you need to give Dwayne time. Because he is the sort of big name, if you will. Hang on. As I try and move and try and be more centered. Please zoom in quicker. No, that's too far. Damn it, Dwayne. There we go. That'll do. Fuck it. I get it. We're trying to get them. We're trying to get obviously the mainstream people in. You obviously feel You said to me when we were watching it live how you're sort of not a fan of him because,
Well, let me clarify. Let me clarify. I am a fan of Attitude Era Rock. From there until like 2003 and 2004. Him coming back over and over again, saying, I'm finally home, then he leaves for a long period of time, comes back, I'm home again, then comes... He's just... The dude's out of money, and he's trying to get as much money as he can, and what better way to do it than to go back to what his bread and butter was, and that was WWE.
In fairness, considering, Hobbs and Shaw didn't do great, and he isn't going to be part of that, seemingly. And obviously, Jungle Cruise got delayed for a number of months, and his new film, which was going to be a big cinema release, is now a Netflix release. You sort of understand it. He's trying to get back into that. But then again, mainstream audience on Fox are going to remember him from back in the day that may not have watched, that they're trying to sort of get in, saying, you might want to watch wrestling again, sort of thing. So doing the sort of... Keep in mind, Fox want stuff that is verging on TV 14, which I believe is what tonight's show was listed as.
I think so. And also, there was a statement by...
Certainly TV 14. Certainly TV 14 was the pre-show, because I remember seeing that.
Okay, I also believe that... apparently Bray Wyatt was on Good Day Sacramento yesterday to talk about Hell in the Cell.
Yeah. It was brilliant. Like, he got him to do the weather, and it's like, yeah, the forecast for the weekend is it's going to be pretty dry, like north, south, east, west. But on Sunday, it's going to be a cold day in hell. And it's just like, yes. Bray sort of being out of his depth, but at the same time sort of carrying the whole, the Bray Wyatt character rather than the Fiend.
Yeah.
The Fiend is only WWE events.
And also, very quickly, Triple H also made a statement saying that after tonight, The Rock would get the WWE bug again.
Yeah.
Do you think that happened tonight?
I think, the fact how long he paused on that home.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway.
That was the...
Go ahead.
Keep in mind, you know what they're saying, WWE bug, aren't you? I ain't got a sign for it.
Oh, God.
Saudi.
Well, anyway, guys.
You bet that Crown Prince is like, I will give you $100 million to have a match with Yokozuna.
Oh, God. Anyway, as we get back to Friday Night Smackdown, all of that would lead into the opening match, which was a tag team match with Becky teaming up with Charlotte Flair to take on Sasha Banks and the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. First off, they were bigger. The match itself was okay for what it was, and I'll say this. No one can hit a moonsault like Charlotte Flair. She's got hang time. I mean, she can literally be up in the air. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then she'll still be at the peak of her jump. 10, 11, 12, 13. You kind of get what I'm saying. But speaking of Charlotte, she would be involved in the finish of this match as she would lock on the figure 8 on Bayley, making her tap out. So actually, it now stands to reason with Hell in the Cell coming up with only 3 matches right now booked so far, that they did this to possibly set up a SmackDown Women's Championship match for the pay-per-view.
You gotta fill the card somehow. I mean, we have this shows you how important the Fox deal is and everything. Because we're literally, less than 48 hours away from Hell in a Cell, and that I'm aware of. Maybe I need to go to WWE's Twitter. Still only have 3 matches confirmed for Sunday. Also, just to tie it in here and whatever, no 205 Live happened tonight. Like was previously scheduled. And they even announced matches this afternoon. And then, lo and behold, in the last few hours, it changed to on the network being a repeat. And apparently it was a last-minute call, them cancelling 205 Live for this week. So, oh God, I'm being distressed by a Bobby Lashley and Lana.
Oh God. Anyway, up next, it was a champion versus champion. Oh, go ahead.
No, it relates to something that talks about later on. Let's just say something involving a briefcase might be an interesting little in-joke.
Okay. Well, up next, it was a champion versus champion match per se, as it was the Universal Champion, Seth Rollins, taking on the Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. However, before Nakamura could even make his entrance, Seth was in the ring, and we would get an episode of the Firefly Funhouse. Bray would say that since they were, again, fanatical, you were a great website, but you were no place here on WrestleDOWN. Bray would say that since they were being introduced into SmackDown's new home, that he wanted to introduce everyone to his home. We would get a rundown of the characters, and lo and behold, Ramblin' Rabbit recovered from his ordeal on Monday Night Raw. And he was also cosplaying as Seth's #1 fan, and would try to warn Seth to not step into the ring in the Hell in the Cell with the Fiend, which gave Bray the idea of showing Seth what would happen by having Rambling Rabbit go at it with Mercy the Buzzard inside a red hamster cage. And all we can say right now, Ashley, is it didn't pan out for him very well.
Yeah, Rip Buzzard again. Oh, sorry, Rip Rambling Rabbit. Mercy wins. Love.
And then the one thing that kind of ticked you off about it is, because usually when we see the Firefly Funhouse, they do like a split screen thing with Bray and the Fiend. But at the moment they were supposed to do it, what did they do? They cut to Seth in the ring. So nobody who was watching the show tonight saw the flip. Exactly. And an upside down fox too.
Hang on, you gotta get the other one.
And the upside down Vince.
And just in case his dirty little hands are on it.
Oh, the upside down Kevin.
Yeah, or...
Okay. Well, anyway, as for the match itself, aside from a cross arm breaker and an attempt at a Kinshasa from Shinsuke, this was all Seth, which I didn't agree with at all. If you're going to have Seth squash Shinsuke in this match, then not only does that make Nakamura look bad, but at the same time, it would make the Intercontinental Championship look bad as well. However, it wouldn't get to that point, because once again, the Fiend would make his presence known as the lights would go out. Seth apparently ran to the stage, leaving Shinsuke in the ring alone, and then the Fiend would once again appear from behind, locking on the mandible claw on Seth, and then threw him off the stage. I will say this, I like the usage of the Fiend here. To me, it makes sense to have him attack Seth like this, not only on Raw, with what they did, even though having him attack Seth at the end of Raw didn't save that shit show of an ending. However, tonight I felt like it made more sense with the pay-per-view being less than 2 days away right now.
True, but you know how pay-per-view logic really goes.
Yeah, no, but let me ask you this question. Considering what we saw on Raw and what we saw tonight on Friday Night Smackdown, did these two shows feel like traditional go-home shows?
Oh, God, no. I mean, it felt like a season premiere because we had the whole new storyline of, building to Saudi. And that thing that we can't talk about.
Until we get to that point in the show.
No, the booby and the one with the actual booby, Lana.
Oh.
That storyline. It felt like, that came from out of nowhere. New storyline, You don't get normally new storylines 6 days before a pay-per-view. But no. Push it out.
Yep.
And certainly tonight, well, with what happened tonight at the end, I can't figure how, and plus, knowing what a certain person is like, I can't imagine that we're getting a title match on Sunday. To scratch that one off the list.
Well, we'll talk about that when we get to that point in the show. Up next, it was a career versus career ladder match with Kevin Owens taking on Shane McMahon. And with ladder matches in the same spots are almost a guarantee. And we did get some of those in this match. Shane's flying elbow off the top rope to Owens on the table is something we've seen Shane do multiple times over the few years. However, I've never seen him use the coast to coast with a ladder before. I've seen it with a chair. I've seen it with a garbage can. If you think back to the 3-on-2 handicap match, Hell in a Cell match, with DX taking on the McMahons and the Big Show. That's where that happened at. But I've never seen him use it with the coast to coast, because you also run the risk, if you're not in the right position, of your legs literally going through the rungs of the ladder. But apparently Shane got it right, so it didn't come to that. KO's frog splash onto Shane, who was prone on a ladder that was set up on the outside, was nicely done. And the finish came down to Owens powerbombing Shane onto a ladder that was laying on the bottom rope in the corner, and Owens climbing up and taking down the briefcase. KO would then get on the mic. He would fire Shane McMahon and then hit the stunner on him to close out the segment. So even though this was kind of almost a condensed ladder match per se, because it didn't go on as some traditional ladder matches do, I still think this was a really good ladder match that did what it needed to do, Ash.
Yes, it gets rid of Shane because Fox don't want him around because they want it to be more of a, real presentation.
A sports-oriented presentation is what you mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, probably. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Wow, it's like a nervous twitch. Because I need to, I really need to remind you of that screenshot of those Fox execs in the front row reacting to Firefly Funhouse when they were like,
yeah, because they had no clue as to what they were watching. But anyway, guys, following this, we will have an 8-man tag team match that felt like it was...
I was going to say flag on the play, but it's not a flag on the play. This is the bit that I wanted to mention. On the on the after video, backstage sort of WWE.com exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin says he's going to be keeping the briefcase for a bit as a trophy. He might crackers in it.
Okay.
Because who needs a barrel of crackers when you can have a briefcase of Mount Rushmore collides. Yes. Yes.
You know what? Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Yeah. The actual flag on the play.
Yeah. Let's go to the referee. Ref, what's the call?
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business. Replay the down.
We got to replay the down, ref. Well, anyway, guys, we had an 8-man tag team match that felt like it was thrown together at the last minute because it was Braun Strowman, Heavy Machinery, and The Miz taking on the Raw Tag Team Champions Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, the United States Champion AJ Styles, and Randy Orton. And of course, with 8-man tag team matches, we would get the obligatory everyone gets to hit their move spot. But here's what we need to talk about. First off, Strowman would take his jog around the ring, taking down Roode, Styles, and Orton. And then Strowman would come face to face with the man known as Tyson Fury. Now, I don't know much about this man, but I know you know about him, Ash.
Big old boxer. Was a troublemaker in the early part of his career. Then sort of mellowed out a bit. Well, I said a peak was he managed to beat Vitaly Klitschko for, I can't remember which belt it was, but one of the 4 big boxing titles. Then he dropped the belt because he went into sort of mental health issues and was up to about, I think, like 27 stone. He's now sort of at about 18 or 19 consistently. Has come back to boxing. Had a very good fight with Deontay Wilder roughly about 12 months ago, which resulted in a draw, which most people are going, that wasn't a draw. Apart from, Deontay Wilder, who's like, yeah, it was a draw. I get to keep the belt. Everyone else is like, no. Either you won it outright, or Tyson Fury won it outright. Not a draw. They've been eyeing up trying to get a rematch done, but obviously, because they're on rival TV deals, that gets a bit complicated because of that. The rumor is they're supposed to be maybe doing something February, but that depends how bad Deontay Wilder gets batched up in his match, which is coming up in about a month or so. So there's the potential, at least before Christmas, for something interesting to happen if they wanted to pull the trigger. Considering this is Fox, they're going to be pulling the trigger so hard, the trigger's broken. We need to replace the G-Con 45 on the Time Crisis 2 cabinet, Fred.
I mean, it was pulled so hard, look what happened to my finger. Anyway, Strowman and Fury would kind of play around with each other at ringside. They were kind of like sizing each other up. Well, Strowman had a full fist. He didn't have his finger up like he's Ronnie Lorcan, like, hey-oh, hey-oh. Never mind. They were kind of doing like this at ringside. And then Ziggler would get involved because he would get in a shot, but then he paid for it as Strowman sent him into the ring post, and then Strowman would send Ziggler into Tyson Fury at ringside. The finish of the match was Strowman connecting with the power slam on Ziggler to pick up the win for his team. However, after the match was over, Tyson Fury would cross the guardrail, which is a no-no in the world of pro wrestling and WWE, and was immediately swamped by WWE security. So one has to wonder, Ash, just what is WWE and Fox setting up here when it comes to Strowman and Fury?
I mean, It'd be sad if it was Saudi. Unless, and again, would they want to do that because it would be live? I was just wondering whether they do it for the UK things in November. Oh no, that's what I remember now. With the UK tapings, I think they're taping, they're doing SmackDown as if it would be live, but then they're doing the Roods, I think. Maybe. Hang on, I need to go to the WWE events. It might be that one that I was getting confused with rather than I was talking about at Christmas, because I think tickets are going on sale in the next few days for the SmackDown before Christmas, which is going to be in Brookie Lynn. I've heard that is a place in New York, Brookie Lynn. Is it like Jerry Lynn? God bless Jerry Lynn. Oh, so SmackDown's going to be in Australia when Raw's in America. Righty ho. I'm just trying to get through to there's Crown Jewel. Then SmackDown's going to be in Buffalo, so some people are going to be really jet lagged. Where is it? There's November 4th. November 11th. Yeah. Friday, November 8th in Manchester, which isn't a million miles away from Tyson Fury Land. They are doing Raw and SmackDown tapings together. I'm guessing they're going to lead off with SmackDown.
It makes sense to do that.
And then follow with the Raw, just in case there is sort of storyline. So it's going to be the rare case in which, I mean, if you wanted, that would be a good night to do any angle that you wanted to do in terms of like the brands clashing with each other, because both are going to be there in the same building on the same night. So if you wanted to do that.
Well, up next we had the
The sad thing is the show's in Manchester, because if it was in Birmingham, I might go because I want to see Dio.
Shout out to Dio. Up next we had the Lumberjack match with Roman Reigns taking on Eric Rowan with Daniel Bryan on commentary for this match. It'll be interesting to see how they would work this match with Rowan and Reigns when it comes to the actual Lumberjacks, and we wouldn't have to wait long before Reigns would get sent to the outside to the heel side of the Lumberjacks, who got in some shots before sending him back into the ring. Then it came for Rowan's turn when Reigns sent him to the outside to the face side of the Lumberjacks, who tried to get Rowan back into the ring, but Rowan would fend them off. Reigns would go for the drive-by spot, but would get caught and slammed on the apron by Rowan. Luke Harper would eventually make his presence known and was immediately met by some of the Lumberjacks and then Daniel Bryan. And then all heck was breaking loose with the Lumberjacks, which of course meant, oh hey, I'm looking at my watch, it's time for me to fly, says Roman Reigns, which is what he did on top of everyone. Now Rowan was getting set to finish off Reigns with the Iron Claw slam, but Reigns would get out of it with a Superman punch. However, he was immediately decked by Harper with the discus clothesline, but then here would come Daniel Bryan with the running knee to take out Harper, which drew the attention of Rowan, who tried once again to hit the Iron Claw on Bryan, but then would get hit by Reigns. Didn't this happen on Monday Night Raw, by the way? Would get hit, or last week on SmackDown, would get hit by Reigns with the spear as Reigns picks up the win in the Lumberjack match. Now, with traditional go-home logic possibly being dictated here, there's one of two things that could happen when it comes to Hell in a Cell. One, Bryan and Reigns lose cleanly. Outcome number two, possible outcome number two, WWE throws a swerve and Daniel Bryan turns on Reigns and is revealed to be the whole ringleader behind this whole operation, Now, Ash, when you hear those two possible outcomes, which one do you think is more likely?
See, there's the problem, Billy. Because, to quote Lex Luger, I don't know! Or, honestly, the most sensible would be they celebrate, you know. They celebrate either as winners or they get beaten down by Harper because they're losers. But considering Vince isn't, it easily could be got a purpose just to reel you in because he wants to kill you, and we're doing it in Saudi Arabia in honor of the Crown Prince.
Oh, God.
Saudi? Oh, wait, no, Daniel Bryan don't go there, so that rules that out.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I guess Survivor Series. It makes sense. Survivor. Who is the actual survivor, or who will die?
Well,
I mean, it won't be. But,
well, at this point of the show, after their introductions, we were left with less than 10 minutes for your high-profile, highly publicized WWE Championship match with Kofi Kingston and Brock Lesnar. So it left me wondering just what in the world are they going to do? Now, did I want Lesnar to win the match after 1F5? No. But that's exactly what happened. However, I was caught off guard by what WWE did, which is something that doesn't happen very often on the main brand, easy for me to say, but by not only the appearance of Rey Mysterio, who apparently, because of the storyline now, is storyline injured. He came out in an arm sling. But by the person Mysterio was accompanied by, and that person was Cain Velasquez.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently from the woke culture guys, the guy that looked like Dominic, Cain Velasquez.
No, don't Cultaholic. They were
Cultaholic.
Culture. Get it right.
Cultaholic. I do apologize.
Well, to be honest, because it was just a shadow from afar, I was like, at first I was thinking, that doesn't look like Dominic. But then again, you know, Dominic looks like Volta, so who knows? But the shape wasn't entirely right. And then I was like, oh wait, are they pulling the trigger? Are they pulling the rumored trigger? Because, you know, Fox. And then it's like, yep. For the first time since Have I Got a Date? I know the show. The first time since UFC 121, which was the 24th of October 2010. So nearly 9 years in Anaheim. So not too far away. Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar fought, and Velasquez beat him in about 4 minutes. Pretty clean.
And I'll say this.
Keep in mind,
Go ahead.
That is probably the only legitimate loss that Lesnar had with that belt.
And I'll say this. Both Lasers' reaction and Paul Heyman's reaction sold it for me. They looked legit scared. They looked like they were legit seeing someone that they did not want to see. And so for once, I'm giving Laser credit for something he's done in WWE, and that is he's sold the appearance like, okay, this is a guy, for those of you, again, who are unfamiliar with Cain Velasquez, that Lesnar was scared of this guy, that he didn't want anything to do with this guy, and then having him go full-on retreat mode sold it even more. So, a very, very... Go ahead.
Looking at the history, he lost to Frank Mir in his second fight at UFC 81 in February of 08, but he beat Randy Couture to get the UFC title at UFC 91, which was November 08. successfully defended it in 2009 and unified it with the interim champion, like Frank Mir. Then unified, because I guess he was injured or whatever again, with Shane Carwin. But then dropped the belt to Velasquez and then lost following that to Alistair Overeem when he had the diverticulitis that basically screwed him out of having a proper UFC career. And then lo and behold, he obviously comes back and beats Mark Hunt, except obviously that one got overturned because Brock tested positive for a banned substance. So Cain Velasquez is the bogeyman, if you will, really, for the downfall of Brock's MMA career. It was never the same after that.
So talk about a
So they
twist
played
ending.
it up heavy.
Because I don't think anybody had any idea that WWE was going to pull the trigger and actually debut Cain Velasquez tonight. Well, anyway, guys, with that thought in mind, go ahead.
Whether this explains the situation that's cropped up with AAA cancelling their big show in LA in a few weeks, which obviously Cain was going to be a part of. Whether Cain basically told them I'm signed with the E and they cancelled it, or whether they just cancelled it because ticket sales weren't as good because of what happened with the New York show. Who knows? But that's the power of $1 billion Fox, I guess.
All right, guys, with that thought firmly in our minds, let's go to overall score and thoughts. For the first Friday Night Smackdown on Fox, I thought it was a very decent show. Having Dwayne on the show makes sense since his character The Rock coined the phrase SmackDown. Corbin may be a king, but apparently now he's also an STD. I think with Charlotte getting the win over Bayley in the tag match may get her a match at the pay-per-view this Sunday. Rollins nearly squashing Nakamura I disagree with, but having the Fiend attack him once again makes sense for their build-up and their match this Sunday inside Hell in a Cell. I guess I should start looking up the history of Tyson Fury if he's going to be working something with Braun Strowman. I love the ladder match, but I am a bit biased because I love ladder matches in general. The Lumberjack match did what it needed to do when it comes to the build for the Bludgeon Brothers taking on Reigns and Daniel. So much for WWE putting stock into Kofi as a champion to have him lose in one move to Laser, but the main question now, guys, is when are we going to see Laser versus Velasquez in WWE? And will it be for the WWE Championship? Overall score, Friday Night Smackdown gets a 3 out of 5, with best match of the night going to the Owens-Shane ladder match, with worst segment of the night going to Laser, once again winning championship in WWE. All I'm going to say is whoever is, you know what, I'm not going to say it. In fact, you know what, I'm going to shut my mouth, I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Ash, for your overall score and thoughts, because if I say something now, I might regret it later.
I'm not going to score it. I think we're just going to say that at least there was 3 shows that were better than Monday Night Raw.
AEW,
You know,
NXT,
this week has been AEW. This week has been AEW, NXT, and SmackDown, and then woo, there's Raw.
But here's the thing, though. Where's Hell in the Cell gonna fall? We won't know until this Sunday.
I can't put my hand through the floor.
Put it through the wall.
Let's be honest. At this point, you know, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is going to have as many cards as that bloody Smackville shit from, you know, a month ago or whatever, when they did that random let's show a house show with matches.
I remember.
Please, WWE, give us a card. Don't, remember the last time we got a card with very little matches added to it? ECW December to Dismember. And we all know how well that went.
Thank you, Paul.
Then again, well, no, that wasn't him. That was Vince. Remember, Heyman was the one that was saying, give CM Punk the belt. And he was the first to get eliminated because it had to go on Lashley.
Yeah, let's not be reminded of that fact. But anyway, guys and gals, that's been our thoughts on the first Friday Night Smackdown on Fox. But what we want to know from you guys out there, yes, you guys, I'm pointing to you guys who are watching this right now or listening to us like this or like this. We want to know what you guys think. What did you guys think of Friday Night Smackdown? What are your overall score? What are your thoughts? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Friday Night Smackdown? Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button like a champ. And if you guys want to see more of WrestleDOWN right here on WGS-TV, you know there are two ways you got to do it. You got to leg drop the subscribe button and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications. Again, I can speak. So that way you guys will never miss out on another video right here on my channel. So with my special thanks to the Studly Man Ashley and your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, reminding all of you guys out there to just stay awesome and don't be like Scott Steiner. Bye, guys!
This show gets a 0 out of 5 because I was proper taker and there was no taker. Screw you.